Hello everyone and welcome to Outside Interference and to the 25th episode of our UPW Local to Global series. That's right, 25 episodes. That is a pretty big number in my opinion, or at least a pretty monumental number. You know, a quarter way to 100, which is honestly probably how long it's going to take for us to get to global. But now that we're here, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the size. Obviously hasn't changed too much since the last time. We have gotten a little bit higher in the States as is expected, and we are quite over in Canada as well, so hopefully we can keep that train rolling. Also, if you haven't seen it already, I am doing a giveaway for TEW WMA Wrestling Spirit, or really whatever Grey Dog software game you would like. All you have to do is go over to the Grey Dog giveaway video that I posted earlier this week, and let me know what game you would like. Leave a like on the video and make sure you are already subscribed, and you will be entered with a shot to win the game of your choice. So with that, there's nothing really else to go over, so we'll just go ahead and jump right into the show. First off, we have a bit of a repeat for this match. I do believe this happened in the last episode, but it does kind of further the storyline, so it's okay. Next Wave defeated LAX in 10-17 when Flex Freeman defeated Santana by pinfall. Colby Carino was really off his game unfortunately, but he still managed to get a 31, which wasn't the worst in the match. Actually tied for highest, I suppose. 3 31s and a 29 for a 31 rating. Not the best at all, but Colby Carino is improving in performance, so that is a definite up. And we can go ahead and move on to the next segment, where Alex Colon, the old leader of LAX, or this incarnation of LAX, comes out as LAX are sitting in the ring recovering from their loss. Colon says, "Santana, Ortiz, long time no see, guys. Obviously, the last time we were in contact, you guys were beating the hell out of me. But since then, you've done so much. You're two-time tag team champions. But I guess that means you lost the tag titles twice, doesn't it? But I'm not here to talk about your past, I want to talk about your future. I don't care what you think about me, but Homicide is our hermano, and he needs our help. 51-50 means you don't turn your back on family. You have a decision to make, boys. I just hope you make the right one." So a 48 rating, and Alex Colon has some pretty heavy words for LAX. We'll see if they do come to the aid of Homicide, or if they stick with their boss, Mr. Steve Carino, and, you know, refuse to go back with Alex Colon, as obviously there is a reason that they broke up before, and whether or not LAX's lack of success since breaking up with Alex Colon will change that is still yet to be seen. So with that, we'll go ahead and move on to the next segment, which is a decent match. David Starr defeating JT Dunn in 10-29 by submission. Dunn got a 39, Starr got a 46, so kind of a lackluster performance by Dunn, but Starr did very well, so that is a 44 rating, and we can just move on to the next segment, where David Starr has his back turned to the entrance ramp when The Rise, Ryan O'Reilly, runs out and sends Starr flying out of the ring. O'Reilly continues his assault until security rushes to Starr's aid. The Rise begins to focus his attack on the security guards, throwing them to the ground until Steve Carino comes out and is able to stop the assault. This got a 52 rating. O'Reilly came across well, and unfortunately Steve Carino performed poorly, but it didn't affect the segment, so nothing too impactful obviously. But this just goes to show Ryan O'Reilly is a ruthless killer. He doesn't care about any of Steve Carino's rules, and doesn't really care about David Starr other than the fact that he wants to beat him within an inch of his life. Or maybe just beat him in a wrestling match, we don't really know yet, so we'll see how this develops in the future. But as of right now, Aaron Bauer and Joel Gertner are still recovering from Ryan O'Reilly's brutal assault when the camera pans to the duo. Bauer says, "Ladies and gentlemen, I have to apologize for what you just saw. It does not in any way reflect this company or its values." Gertner says, "It's really unfortunate that people think they have to act out just to get noticed, but I suppose that's what's led into our next match." Bauer says, "Yes indeed, Joel. In just a few moments, the King of Chaos, Cody Hall, will face off against the Hong Kong hero, Jason Lee, for the #1 contendership of the Iron Man title." Gertner then finishes the segment with, "Jason Lee shouldn't have to deal with any bullshit tonight either, Aaron, as Chaos has indeed been banned from ringside for this match. So Chaos, excluding Cody Hall of course, has been banned from ringside for this match and threatened with suspension if they interfere in any way. In a bout that had decent reaction from the crowd but subpar wrestling, Cody Hall defeated Jason Lee in 12-13 by pinfall with a razor's edge. Unfortunately, Cody and Jason don't seem to click, and it made for an awkward bout. Cody got a 35, Jason got a 32. I was going to make this the main event of the evening, but I am glad I didn't. Cody Hall is improving in flying skills, which is kind of weird considering he doesn't seem like the person to go to the top rope, but I suppose if you can add something to your arsenal, go ahead and do it. So a 34 rating, definitely not the best, but we can deal with it. It advances the storyline, and Cody Hall is now the #1 contender for Jason Kincaid's Iron Man title. In a good match, Barbie Hayden defeated Kairi Hojo in 7:46 by pinfall after a distraction from Virginia Blackwood, and also during the match, Penelope Ford did attack Kairi Hojo. So this was a real 3v1 situation against Kairi Hojo, obviously with the Bombshells and Virginia Blackwood, who seems to be starting a rivalry with Kairi Hojo. We'll see how that develops in the future, but this match actually does put Barbie Hayden back in title contention, as she will get another shot at the UPW Women's title after forfeiting her match due to injury at the last pay-per-view. So a 51 rating to end off the show. Kairi Hojo was outstanding once again with a 68, and Barbie Hayden did her part with a 39, so I can't complain about that. Obviously an eye candy match for this one. Normally I just let Kairi Hojo carry the match in a normal match, but I was going to make this match short anyways, so I thought it would be best to just boost the rating a little bit. So a 51 to end off the show. We should get quite a good rating on the show, and a 48. So anytime Kairi Hojo is in the main event, we are going to have great ratings. And a 48 for a fight night, and really any event, because honestly our pay-per-views, although they are, better in terms of story and build, I think, not normally too great in terms of rating. Hopefully we can kind of work that out in the future when we probably have a bigger roster and more talent to spare. But until then, I will take whatever I can get. So with that, we'll go ahead and jump into the next show, as there's not really anything to go over in between. So I'll see you guys at the next fight night. Alright, so to open the show, Jason Lee walks down the ramp with a microphone and says UPW Shockwave 2018. For longtime fans of UPW, that name brings back memories. Memories of me beating Cody Hall one-on-one in the middle of the ring. When I won, I received nothing but bragging rights. Last week, Cody evened the series, but instead of bragging rights, he got a title shot. So I'm here to make an offer. Cody, if you really think you're better than me, come out here right now and prove it. Finish the series. If I win, I'm inserted into the Iron Man Championship match at next month's pay-per-view, License to Kill. And if I lose, I'll admit that you're better than me, and you won't hear from me ever again. Cody emerges slowly from the back and raises the microphone to his face. He says, "If you want to fight, I'll give you a fight." Dunn and Janelle attack Lee from behind, and Cody soon joins in. The trio beat Lee into submission and head to the back as medical personnel rush to aid the former Iron Man champion. So this got a 52, great rating to start off the show, and when Jason Lee makes a pretty reasonable request, Chaos is just not having it and beat the former Iron Man champion into the ground. So we might not hear from Jason Lee for a little bit, who knows? But I'm sure when he does come back, it will be at the expense of Chaos, because I can't see any incarnation of Jason Lee taking this lying down. But we'll move on from this rating. Hopefully we can continue this momentum into the night. A decent match, Alex Colon defeated Dalton Castle in 12:04 by pinfall, illegally using the ropes for leverage. Dalton Castle had an in-ring performance of 45, Alex Colon had a 37. I was kind of expecting closer to a 40 for this, but a 37 definitely isn't anything to scoff at, especially for the first match of the night, and Alex Colon is improving in performance, so that definitely helps out a bit. Next segment, Alex Colon continues attacking Dalton Castle with a chair. I kind of assumed that Alex Colon would win by chair shot instead of on the ropes, so we'll just assume that he either grabbed a chair or won via the chair, and then also had his legs on the ropes. But regardless, let's go ahead and move on with the segment. Until LAX's music hits and the tag team hit the ring, Santana grabs the chair and Ortiz pushes Colon to the corner. Ortiz goes to help Castle up, but instead grabs his arms and holds him back as Santana lays into him with the chair. After a few shots, the newly reformed LAX stand together over Castle's limp body. This got a 46, continuing the pretty high ratings that we've gotten so far on this show. I'm definitely expecting a really good rating for this episode, assuming nothing goes horribly wrong in the second half. But yes, LAX have realigned themselves with Alex Colon, reforming the UPW branch of LAX, along with the original LAX member, Homicide. So it's kind of a continuity clusterfuck of sorts, but all that you need to know is that LAX and Alex Colon are back together along to help Homicide in his feud with Steve Corino. So moving on to the next segment, a 44. So the good ratings train continues. A decent match. Chaos defeated David Starr and Jason Kincaid in 12:24 when Cody Hall defeated Jason Kincaid by pinfall with a razor's edge. Kincaid and Starr looked great with a 47 and a 42. Cody Hall looked fantastic for what I've come to expect from him with a 41. And JT Dunn held his weight with a 37 for a 44 rating. Quite a few worker improvements. Cody Hall in technical and performance and JT Dunn in technical. So great segment all around. And Cody Hall showing that even though he does quite often use underhanded tactics to win his matches, he does not need to. He is quite the athlete in the ring, obviously. If you look at his bloodline, you can see why. And, he's going to use that power to bully smaller guys like Jason Kincaid, David Starr, and of course, Jason Lee. But we'll go ahead and move on to the next segment. In a bout that had great heat and decent wrestling, Leva Bates defeated Kairi Hojo in 14:33 by pinfall with a superhero kick after a distraction from Virginia Blackwood. And to give a little bit of context, the distraction was more like music playing in the middle of the match instead of Virginia Blackwood coming out and distracting Kairi Hojo, as that's going to happen after the match. But a 40 rating is pretty disappointing, especially from Kairi Hojo. Probably should have made this an eye candy match, but I wanted to have a longer main event. Maybe that was a mistake. I'm sure we're still going to get a pretty good rating on this show, but it's definitely not as good as it would have been if I had set this at eye candy. But nothing we can do about that now. We're going to go ahead and move on to the last segment, a 55, great rating. Virginia Blackwood emerges from the back following Kairi Hojo's match and says, "Tough loss, Kairi. I can't help but feel partially responsible for this little slump you've been going through. It was never my intention, but I guess everybody has their weakness. Even the great Kairi Hojo has her Achilles heel, and that's me. So much like an arrow to Achilles, I'm going to finish you, but at least you'll die a legend." So as UPW Fight Night on ESPN goes off the air, Virginia Blackwood and Kairi Hojo look to their match at License to Kill, where that's exactly what Kairi Hojo will aim to do to Virginia Blackwood, and vice versa, basing off this promo. But we'll go ahead and check the final show rating, which was a 44. Very respectable. Obviously not the best rating we've ever had, but it was pretty good. I think a great episode. I'm really trying a lot harder with the women's storylines and just the storylines in general, so hopefully that is coming across. But that's pretty much going to end off the episode. If you guys did like, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see ya in the next one.
Heat in my vein like vernacular. Cook up the beat with a spatula. Y'all are not ready for action. I'm smoking these rappers and feeling spectacular. Making a killing like massacre. Watch out, I'm